Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. I certainly am. I am officially finished. The 2019 trip to the Rhone Valley has come to an end and I'm now at home, having come back from Lyon via Germany, safely back at home. Travelling was fine actually on the way back. Just wanted to say a few words to sum up the trip, the visit, a little bit about the vintage and what happens next. First of all, it was just an absolute pleasure and joy to be able to travel again. I'm so used to travelling for work. I should actually be in Australia right about now or coming in next week, but obviously that's not happening. There's so many trips I haven't been able to go on, but that's what actually threw up this opportunity for me to go to the Rhone Valley due to other cancellations and difficulties with travelling. So every cloud has a silver lining, and this was a really fantastically beautiful silver lining. To go to the Rhone Valley, wow, it's a large area. So to really understand the 2019 vintage, you have to taste a lot of wine. So it's from Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Vacqueyras, Gigondas, all the way up to the northern Rhone. Condrieu, well, starting down, we had Hermitage, and then Saint-Joseph, Cornas, Gros-Hermitage, Condrieu, Côte-Rôtie. And a lot of wines were tasted starting at 8 a.m. and not finishing till very late in the evening. But that's the only way to really understand the vintage and to get an understanding and an insight into what those wines will be like, because a lot of them are not even released yet. They're still barrel samples, which is challenging tasting wines that aren't ready and making predictions for the future. But it's also hugely insightful and the only way to understand it. So too many highlights to point out, but I'm going to say a few actually. Visiting Domaine Jamais, Jean-Louis Chave were certainly highlights that stood out, and tasting the La Mouline, La Tourque, La London at Guigard as well. There's too many, and I think I've told you about some of them. Chateau Grillet at 8 o'clock in the morning, how could I forget that? Was incredibly stunning. Clos des Papes. There's too many to really. Henri Bonnaire, Vineyards of Rayas. It goes on. So the report's coming out soon. So overall, a few words on the vintage. Very, very good vintage in the south, looking really smart in areas like Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Gigondas as well. And then as we move up north, stellar vintage in Côte-Rôtie, I think it's fair to say. Very solid in Hermitage, very good wines, very powerful wines. Saint-Joseph, Cornas looking very solid. Perhaps bits of Gros-Hermitage and Condrieu struggled a little bit this year, or last year, 2019. But overall, some really very, very good wines. So the report on jancisrobinson.com will be coming out, but we will also be doing some tastings coming up for United, with probably not wines from the 2019 vintage yet, because they're not ready, but other wines from the Rhone, and then when the scores are released over the coming month, you'll be able to see what I think are the wines that you should be buying from the Rhone Valley, from me having been on the ground and tasted those wines. So it's great to be back. I've got a lot of work to do now, and I'll be joining some of you on Thursday for a Riesling tasting, Australian Riesling tasting. So I think actually Riesling from all over the world. So I look forward to that, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. And thank you for following the adventures. And here's to many more. And there will be more coming up in the not too distant future to share with you. And anything you'd like to see, just let me know. Cheers all from a fairly grey England, but a happy alley. Cheers.